All aboard the hydration station. What is in your cup? I want to know. I got some lemon water with me, so cheers. I hope you're having a good day, everybody. And you know the drill. If you have not drank some water today, this is a friendly reminder because I care and I love you. Drink it. It's good for you. We gotta hydrate. We're back with more entitled parents, so buckle up. I used to teach at a Catholic school. I am a big Harry Potter fan, so I had a few posters up in my middle school classroom. I had a parent tell me that Harry Potter is demonic and that she believed reading aloud the spells from the books would summon demons. I refused to remove the books or posters from my room, so she reported me to the priest. As a compromise, I got to keep the books but had to take down the posters. I think this parent genuinely thought I was a witch teaching sorcery. I can honestly see that, and I only say that because I grew up in a church. My parents are divorced, but my mom used to go to church. So, like, my whole life I went to church camp. Like some of the things you see in documentaries these days, like Your Girl Has Some Stories. Anyways, I should write a book on that. But that church actually also believed that like Harry Potter, like, was wrong to watch Harry Potter, and like Halloween we weren't allowed to go like trick-or-treating, or because it was seen as like witchcraft. Like literally, y'all. Update though. My mom is no longer in that church. She actually doesn't go to church anymore, and I don't think she considers Harry Potter demonic. So good news. We can keep watching Harry Potter. When I busted a senior for plagiarizing, his mom came in for the obligatory, I said that's so weird, parent conference. Mom said without any hesitation or humor, "I don't understand. I saw him typing, and then when he clicked on a new tab, his thoughts were there on the internet. It's reading his mind." I had to stare at the picture directly behind her rather than look at her or the administrator because I could barely contain my laughter. They will never admit that their kid is wrong. They can't. They can't fathom it. They can't accept it. They refuse, and they will go to the ends of the earth, even if their kid's in the wrong, to just be like, no, it was the internet's fault. The internet plagiarized my kids' thoughts. Now that is some witchcraft. I teach preschool, and we usually take the kids outside about half an hour after they are dropped off. Before heading out, we try to encourage the children to practice learning some practical life skills, like getting their coats and boots on with adult support, of course. We did the same thing when I worked at the daycare as well. One mother was convinced that her child could not put on his own coat or dress himself. Most days, he was absolutely fine, and usually one of the first kids to get dressed. Some days his mom would hide in the cubby area until we headed out and yell at me and the TA about how her son couldn't dress himself and how we needed to do it for him. It usually ended with her son in tears, her undressing and redressing him, and us trying to explain to her that her behavior was inappropriate and she needed to leave, all while the rest of the kids stood and watched in shock. I don't get this overbearing mom thing. Like, wouldn't you be proud that your son can put on his own coat and he's one of the first kids dressed? I'd be like, yeah, you go, man. You know how to tie your shoes. You can put your boots on. You got your coat. Oh! I have a feeling it's like, I'm not a mom, so I can't relate. So parents, enter the chat. Maybe there's a sense of feeling when you are a parent that you don't want to feel like your kids don't need you anymore. But like, that's the whole point of life, is to raise them because they're gonna be on their own one day, and you want them to be on their own one day and to be independent and to be sufficient and successful. So is that it? Because I don't get this whole overbearing mom thing. I had a 10-year-old student who chose to wear t-shirts to school in the winter. Oh my God. I remember trying to do that so many times as a kid. Like, it was so uncool to wear a winter coat. Girl, wear the freaking coat. What is wrong with you? When he was cold, he would put on his heavy winter coat, but then complain he was too hot. His mother insisted that my classroom was both too cold and too hot. The head of maintenance came into my room every hour to check the temperature and then called in a heating service to go over the entire system. This still was not enough. I suggested that if he wanted to wear a t-shirt when it was 30 degrees out, he could bring a sweatshirt to put on when he was cold. Well, there's a solution. Why didn't I think of that as a mother? Well, if your coat is too hot, Why don't you try a sweatshirt? I coach high school swimming at an all-boys school. This one particular boy had a peculiar, why can't I say this? Peculiar. Guys, I know exactly what word this is. My brain is not working. Peculiar. Relationship with his overbearing mom. One day he sent me a message that he couldn't make it to practice. I simply asked why, and he said, I already took my shower for the day and my mom doesn't want me getting dirty again. That's just weird. Then why sign your kid up for the extracurricular activities like swimming or swim team and then tell them they can't go to practice because they showered? When I taught elementary school, a parent once asked me if I had kids of my own. When I said I didn't, she said, oh, that's why you don't know how to discipline your class. It just got to me. It just irked me. I've had my share fare of parents when I worked as an ECE, so I understand. I actually got comments like that, especially because I was younger and I'm not a mom. Wasn't a mom at the time either, obviously. And it was just like, oh, you don't know, or you don't know. And respectfully, I understand. Of course, I don't know what it's like to be a mom in the sense that I've never been a mother. But yeah, if someone said this to me, knowing me, I'd be like biting my tongue. My mom used to be a college professor, and one time she talked to one of our students in class about something they discussed previously over email. Well, the student had no clue what she was talking about. Turns out the student's mom had hacked her student email and university account and was impersonating her. In university, you're still a helicopter mom? Apparently, the daughter wanted to handle her classes and grades on her own, and her mom didn't like not having access to all of her daughter's information. Ain't no way. Ain't no motherfucking way. Let me tell you, love you, mom. Absolutely not. One afternoon, my principal pulled me out of the classroom to inform me that a parent had complained to the administration that I was pregnant. What's the complaint?
I don't like her being pregnant.
And she demanded to know what the school was going to do about it. Huh? The administration told her that they would support me however they could. I would have 100% appreciated their support had I in fact been pregnant. Apparently, I was just looking a little tubby. Oh my God. Isn't that just the cherry on top of this whole story? I was like, complained about someone being pregnant? What does that even mean? What are you gonna do about it? Like as if they did something wrong? Like they're a teacher of your child, which means you were once pregnant. What's the issue? I'm confused. Are teachers not allowed to have babies of their own? I had a parent threaten to fight me. I had been their child's teacher for 3 days, and she called the principal to inform them that my days were numbered. 3 days in, and you're gonna have to deal with her for the rest of the school year. I just know teachers don't get paid enough. Do they get paid well? We got any teachers in this chat? Let me know. I'm just like, I feel like that's a job where they don't get paid enough. Like, are we happy with our pay? Do you actually get paid enough? I need to know. I've been teaching preschool for 13 years, and I once had a mom who would study the following week's lesson plans with her 2-year-old daughter over the weekend, then make her recite it to all of us on Monday morning. Oh my God. What's the lesson plan? How to sing Old MacDonald Had a Farm? Like, what do you mean? I was a relatively new young teacher and gave this kid a detention. Her dad called me to talk about it, though we'd already discussed why. I started pretty calm, but the dad got progressively more angry until he screamed through the phone, "How old are you anyway? I've got a pair of trousers older than you." Okay, good one. Like, is that supposed to offend me? Like, that's just disgusting at that point. Because even if I was 3 years old, then that means you have like trousers that are 3 years old. Like, my kindergarten classroom has 2 doors, one inside the school gates and one outside the gates. My policy is that parents need to drop off at the back door so students are inside the gates. I politely reminded a mom of this rule when she tried to drop her daughter off at the wrong door after arriving late and not checking in at the office. She started yelling and calling our school a prison, then said I was a fat, ugly biatch. She did this in front of all my kindergarten students and had to be removed by campus security, all while still yelling. I am done with this, y'all. I'm so done with it. Like, oh, I'm so sorry for trying to protect your child. I should just care less than I do, apparently. When I was a preschool teacher, I had their kids 40 hours a week. While you're at work 8 hours a day, I have your child, sometimes more than just 8 hours a day. And it's like, these are the teachers that are playing huge parts in the fundamental growth of your child for 40 plus hours a week, wouldn't you want to work alongside them, to support them, to engage with them in a positive way? Like, we're a team. I had a 10th grade student whose mother texted them constantly, all throughout class, even though the students weren't supposed to have their phones out. Once the student randomly told me they had to leave in the middle of class. I asked why, and they said their mother texted them that someone was there to pick them up. I hadn't heard anything about it, had no note saying the student was leaving class, and no call from the office that someone was there to pick them up. So I told them they couldn't leave. Next thing I know, the mother called the principal and complained that I wouldn't let her kid leave class based on a text message she sent them in the middle of a lesson. Guess who got in trouble? Apparently, I should just let any kid leave class at any time for any reason. That's crazy to me. Like, shouldn't you be thanking me that I was thinking about the protection of your child and I didn't want them to just leave? Because usually there is protocols in place. You need a note. The office will usually call the student down and confirm with the person, like, oh, what is your relationship to this person? I went to pick up my nephew pretty recently because I wanted to hang out with him and take him out for his birthday. And I picked him up from school, and yeah, they had to verify my ID. They had to verify like that I was my sister's sister. Like, she had to call when I was at the front door and be like, yes, that is my sister. She's here to pick him up. They walked him out to me. Like, there was a whole structure put in place, and that's exactly how it should be. What do you mean in trouble? I think the words you're looking for are thank you. I have a fun little parenting thing to share. My mother always taught us, which it's stuck with me as I grew older, and I was like, this was actually really smart. My mom told us when we were kids that we had a secret password. I'm not gonna tell you what the password is because even though as an adult, I'm like, I'm gonna still use it. That if anyone ever like came up to us at school when we were walking home or anything, and it's like, oh, hey, like, girls, like, I'm here to pick you up. Your mother sent me, or anything like that, because people would probably do that. There's crazy people in this world. We would have to say, what's our secret password? And if they didn't know it, we were not allowed to get in the car with them, to go with them, any stranger that approached us, because if it was like my mom's friend, she would tell them the password. So we still have this password. To this day, I still know it. And I'm like, that is such a great lesson to teach kids. You teach them, don't go with strangers. But if that stranger is convincing you as a child, like, oh no, I'm your mom's friend, like, I work with her and stuff. As a kid, I'm probably like, oh cool, sick, let's go. Like, I'm not gonna know any better. So, secret password. I'm out of here though, you guys. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy, and I hope you have a phenomenal day. I'm sassy, but not towards you guys. You guys are my friends. I like you.